Deer Antler Secrets: Why They Grow. The annual antler cycle in white-tailed deer is truly a remarkable display of nature's precision. Every spring, bucks begin to shed their antlers, which appear as bare bone stubs. This marks the start of an incredible growth period fueled by testosterone and influenced heavily by daylight hours. As days lengthen, hormone levels surge, triggering rapid antler development from specialized structures called pedicles on the deer's head. These pedicles are covered in a furry skin called velvet, which provides vital nutrients to nourish the growing bone underneath. Antlers can grow up to an inch per day during peak growth. That's astonishing. The process takes roughly 4 to 6 months, and as the antlers mature, the blood supply to the velvet gradually shuts down, causing it to dry and peel off, revealing the hardened bone structure beneath. This shedding of velvet typically occurs in late summer or early fall, just before the rutting season begins. Only male white-tailed deer, often called bucks, develop antlers. These impressive structures aren't just for show, they're vital tools in a buck's life. Antlers are primarily used to establish dominance within the herd and, crucially, to attract female deer, or does. Each spring, as testosterone levels rise, the antlers begin to grow from bony protrusions on the skull, called pedicles. This growth is incredibly rapid, fueled by calcium and other minerals absorbed from their diet. They're covered in a soft, fuzzy skin known as velvet, which provides nutrients during this period of intense development. As summer fades, the velvet dries and sheds, revealing the hard bone underneath. The size and shape of antlers vary depending on the buck's age, genetics, and overall health. Larger racks generally signal to does that this buck is strong and capable. The antler growth process is truly fascinating. It all starts in spring when tiny, bony nubs called pedicles begin to appear on the deer's skull. Think of them as the blueprints and foundations for antlers that will grow later. These aren't just random bumps, they're specialized structures where blood vessels and cells will rapidly multiply and form the antler itself. You won't see much at this stage. They're small, covered in skin, and quite unassuming. But these pedicles hold all the potential for a magnificent rack to develop over the coming months. Antler growth isn't just about bone, it's a remarkably complex process fueled by a living layer called velvet. Imagine tiny skin cells rapidly dividing and expanding to cover the developing antler. That's what velvet is. This soft, fuzzy covering is packed with blood vessels and nerves, creating a rich network, delivering essential nutrients and oxygen directly to the growing bone tissue. It's like a lifeline for the antlers, allowing them to grow at an astonishing rate throughout spring and summer. Without this vital supply of resources, those impressive racks simply wouldn't be possible. The impressive antlers of a white-tailed buck aren't just for show, they're a direct result of powerful hormones. Testosterone is the key player here, and its levels fluctuate dramatically throughout the year. As fall approaches, testosterone surges, triggering a remarkable transformation. You'll notice that the velvety covering on young antlers, which provides nourishment during their growth, begins to dry out. This velvet contains blood vessels and nerves. It's essentially life support for the developing antler. When the buck reaches peak testosterone levels, He actively rubs this dried velvet off against trees, shrubs, and even the ground, revealing the hardened bone beneath. It's a vigorous process that can leave visible marks on the landscape. The size and shape of a white-tailed buck's antlers are more than just impressive displays, they're a direct reflection of his health and diet. Antler growth is an incredibly energy-intensive process. Think of it as building bone. A young deer with limited access to high-quality food will naturally produce smaller, less developed antlers. However, a buck that thrives on a rich diet of lush grasses, nutritious browse like tender shoots and leaves, and readily available minerals will have the resources needed to grow truly remarkable headgear. You'll often see significant differences in antler size between bucks in different areas, or even between siblings. It's all tied back to their individual nutritional histories. It's a powerful visual indicator of how well an animal is doing. Remarkably, a buck's antlers don't just grow, they actually get bigger each year of his life. Initially, young deer will have small, branched antlers called spikes. As he matures and gains strength, the antlers become more substantial, with larger tines and increased overall size. This growth continues generally until around 4 or 5 years old, when antler development plateaus. At that point, the buck has reached what we call his trophy potential, meaning further years won't bring significant increases in antler size. It's a fascinating example of how age and nutritional intake directly impact these impressive structures. Unlike horns, which remain with an animal throughout its life, antlers are a truly remarkable feature because they're shed and regrown each year. This annual cycle is tied directly to the deer's hormones and breeding season. As winter loosens its grip and spring approaches, testosterone levels drop in bucks, signaling the antlers to detach typically between late winter and early spring. It's an incredible process. The old antler falls away, leaving behind a bare pedicle, which is essentially a bony stub that will support the growth of a brand new set. This shedding allows them to conserve valuable calcium and energy as resources become more plentiful. Believe it or not, the very ground a white-tailed deer walks on plays a crucial role in how impressive its antlers become each year. These animals are constantly absorbing minerals from their diet, both plants and soil, and these nutrients directly impact antler quality. Calcium is absolutely essential. It forms the core structure of the antler. Phosphorus helps with calcium absorption and bone development, contributing to overall strength. And magnesium. It's vital for regulating calcium metabolism and promoting healthy growth. A deficiency in any of these can significantly limit antler size and complexity, leading to smaller, less impressive racks. The annual regrowth of a white-tailed deer's antlers is truly an incredible process. Every spring, as temperatures rise and daylight hours increase, male deer bucks begin shedding their winter antlers. This might seem like a loss, but it's actually the start of something amazing. The velvet that protected the developing antler during growth begins to dry up and peel away, revealing the hardened bone beneath. It's driven by hormones, primarily testosterone, which signals the body to rebuild these impressive structures. Remarkably, antlers are made almost entirely of bone. They're the only type of bone in mammals that regrow annually. The entire process takes roughly 4 to 6 months, and by fall, bucks will have a brand new set of antlers ready for mating season.